What's up, people? It's me, Bailey, and this is my channel. And I am going to be doing the Stay Home Reading Rush. I didn't participate in the reading rush last year, so this is my first reading rush experience, I guess. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, honestly, just because I have a lot of schoolwork to do. Even though a lot of people are doing nothing, I still have school. So I don't know how this is, I don't know. It's just because I'm at home does not mean I have time. So it's officially the reading rush day. This lasts from the 16th to the 19th, and it's the 16th today. And yeah, so I'm gonna go through all the prompts and then tell you my TBR for this. I have a really ambitious TBR. No, not ambitious. I just have a lot of options. That's what we'll go with. So we'll just go straight into it. By the way, I'm not here to shade anyone. No tea, no shade, but also disappointing. My ex just texted me trying to apologize for being a shitty person. We ain't here for that, B. We ain't here for that. I'm not here to spill tea or to be a bitch, but the prompts are kind of rough. I get the drama with the original prompts was it's kind of insensitive. Personally, I don't have a problem with joking during this time. I personally don't have really a problem with dark humor and also joking when things are not going that well. So I didn't have a problem with it. I understand where people did have a problem with it. So when they changed the prompts, I expected something a little better, but then changing the pandemic prompt to read a book that will make you smile was to me that was kind of condescending, but don't take me too seriously. But yeah, I think the prompts are a little bit rough for this, but I wanted to do it anyway because you know what, I want to get involved, but also complain, so But yeah, let's just get into it. Read a book with a house on the cover. I only have one book with a house on the cover, and that is The Clock with the House, the Clock with the House in Its Walls. The House with the Clock in Its Walls by John Bellairs. This became a movie, and it has a house right in there. This became a movie, and I think it's middle grade, maybe? It's only it's just under 200 pages, so it's very short. This became a movie. My mom gave this to me one day when the movie was coming out, and I want to read this and then watch the movie at some point because the movie did look interesting. So I just want to get this off my TBR, I guess. It's just been sitting in my room. So basically, this kid, he's an orphan, comes to stay with his uncle, and he expects an ordinary dude, but he's wrong. Uncle Jonathan and his neighbor, Mrs. Zimmerman, are both magicians. So there's a murderous clock in the walls, and they're magicians, so I don't know. Sure. For the read a book in the same room the whole time prompt, I could probably do House with the Clock in Its Walls, but I also have this book that I got on my Kindle because I've found my Kindle after 3 years, and now I've decided I want to use it. Although I'm very bad at using it, it's very touchy. I don't love it, but you know what? Why not? It's a stupid fucking book that I found on Amazon, and it's literally called, what is it called? Where's the title? It's called Just in Case, a Male, Female Bisexual Romance by Roxanne Riley. That's the actual fucking title. Look at that. So it's I think 60 pages, so I think I'll use this for this prompt. Literally, I don't even know where I found this. I think I searched in LGBTQ plus romance. This thing came up. I don't expect it to be good, to be honest. That's not a thing with Kindle romances. That's not why I don't think it's gonna be good. I think because it has a male, female, bisexual romance and menage in the title, maybe that's why. I don't have expectations, but I'm gonna have fun figuring out what this is. I don't have a description for you, by the way. I think the title has it. It's a bisexual romance. So for the next one, which is read a book set somewhere you wish you could go. For this one, I picked The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I have the audiobook for this, and I've been wanting to read this for so long, but this takes place in New York City. So I don't want to go there right now, obviously, but I want to go to New York so bad. It is my dream. It's just the epicenter of everything I love. So I really want to go to New York. So that's why I picked this book. To my knowledge, this book is about a girl named Natasha and Daniel falling in love in a day because Natasha is being deported. So I know this book is very diverse, and I'm really excited to read this. I remember reading about halfway through this book before when I first bought it, but I am excited to finally get to this because it's been on my TBR for too long. And then I've got 3 options here for the read a book that will make you smile, which again, I can't really confirm whether or not these will make me me smile. Well, some of them, I guess. So first I got Frostblood by Ellie Blake. I've read this before. I just want to reread it so I can finish the series finally. And then I have I Hate Everyone But You by Gabby Dunn and Allison Raskin, which is another reread. And I really love this book, so I know I'd smile while reading this. And then I also have The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, because I just want to read this month because I'm going to be starting to reread the whole series starting in, what's after April? May? I'm starting to reread that with a group of people as well. We're going to be rereading the whole series, and some of them are reading it for the first time, starting in May, one book a month. So I want to read this month. I have the audiobook, so I don't know. I don't know which one of these I'm going to pick, but I have options, you know what I mean? So these two I'd be reading physically, this one I have the audiobook. So this is my TBR. I am not going to make it through all these books. I'm not stupid. But I've given myself options for most of them. There's also this book. Oh, I'm probably not gonna update or like read anything for a little bit because I am in class. I just finished my first online class of the day, and I have another one in 25 minutes, so I'll be coming in periodically. Tomorrow, which is Friday, I have shorter classes and I don't have anything due, so tonight I probably can dick around and read more, and like Friday I can just dick around and read, and then the weekend obviously I can not do any homework because I've been procrastinating like a bitch recently. For some reason, online school has made it so that I have more homework than I did when I was going to like actual school, so great. It's really, really fun here. So yeah, welcome to my Stay Home Reading Rush vlog. So my mom just went into a store to get food, and I'm going to stop vlogging as soon as she comes back. Fuck. She just looked at me. She just saw me vlogging. I fucking hope she didn't register what I'm doing, because that would be embarrassing. I low-key think she knows that I have a YouTube channel because she acts like she followed my Bookstagram. I blocked her from seeing my stories because I just don't need that. But I low-key think she knows, but she hasn't talked to me about it, so I just don't want to talk about it now. So I started The Sun is Also a Star on audiobook, and I'm 80 pages in, and I wasn't really liking it up to like the 30-page mark. I was just kind of like not into it, but honestly kind of into it now. Like, I can relate to Natasha and her views about love and fate because I really don't believe in love and don't care much for it, but I also really love Daniel and his optimism in a way, and the way, like, I love the premise of this book where he's trying to make her fall in love with him scientifically in a day. I think it's really, really cute, and I already really like their dynamic, so I'm really excited to read the rest of the story. But I also know from, like, I've seen clips of the movie, and I just know the general storyline that, like, it doesn't, not that it doesn't work out, but, like, it doesn't work out, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to spoil, but, like, she is getting deported, so that's not boding well for their future, but we'll see. I'm really, really liking it now. I think my mom is coming back, so I'm gonna peace out now. Bye beach. So I finished a book. It's this book. I'll try to keep this clip not going that far because I'm sitting here with like a glaring lamp in my face because I don't want to turn on the light and I'm having a crisis. But I listened to this book today. Oh, can we stop moving? Thank you. It's a little crooked, it's fine. And this book has given me a crisis. I wrote like very brief notes. I think I'm gonna give this 3 stars. And this is weird to me because, one, I had this in a 5-star predictions video from like a while ago, and also I feel like everyone loves this story and I so badly wanted to love it, but then it just, I think I can't feel anything anymore because recently I haven't been getting any emotional connection to books, if we're being honest. Like, I haven't read something a 5-star, like, snap immediate reaction 5-star in so long. Like, no books are really impacting me. This light is not doing it for me. What the fuck is going on? It's fine. But I don't know, like, I couldn't get myself, like, it's not that I didn't care. Like, I liked the couple, I liked seeing the relationship, and when the deeply depressing shit happens, I can register it's depressing shit, but I didn't feel bad. I didn't cry. There was no moment where I thought I was going to cry. Like, I don't know, but this is not that, it's not this book. It's like every book. I don't feel anything anymore when I read these things. And it's like, I know I'm supposed to feel something, and I don't. Everybody else has felt something. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I don't know. It concerns me. It's like, am I heartless? Do I feel nothing? Like, I'm going to move on from this book and remember there was a couple together, it was kind of sad, and that's it. It didn't hit me deep at all. And I feel like nothing is hitting me in the feels recently. Nothing is hitting me deep, you know? I'm like, I think I am heartless or have shut down my emotions and compartmentalized everything. Because what the fuck? Like, also just like a writing critique or like book critique, I get the whole plot and like the whole point of this book is like to talk about fate and destiny and how like things happen for a reason and sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, blah. But that's all just to say that this book is full of plot convenience, and I get that that's the point of the book, so I don't know why it upsets me, because, you know, that's the point. But also, it's kind of, at some point, it gets a little bit not frustrating, but kind of, like, noticeable. But again, I don't think that's, like, a fault of the book, because it's the point of the book, so can't really fault it for what it's doing. And, like, I liked a lot of the notions about fate and love, especially Natasha, because she's very logical and doesn't really care for like love and love at first sight and destiny and that kind of stuff, which is kind of where I fall with those kind of things. But I don't know. This book didn't do it for me, but it upset me because I so badly wanted it to, and this lighting is still so bad. Like, I get like this, I can register this is an important story to tell, and it's very diverse, and I think it is a good book objectively. But I do want to say the ending of this book, so I've seen clips of the movie and know how the movie pans out. And the movie ends the same, but differently. So, like, that's not going well. So basically they just, like, present the ending differently. So, like, the ending happens, but in a different situation. Without saying in depth, like, this ends in an airplane, that one ends in a cafe, but the same shit's happening. I vastly prefer the ending of the book to the ending of the movie. I don't know what it is about it, I just do. I just want to touch on a small theme. Like, it ties into the whole fate thing, and you know, you have an impact on the people around you, and like butterfly effect and all that. There was a theme or a plot thread throughout this book with this one character named Irene. Oh, I don't think I ever explained this, but if you don't know about this book, basically there's Daniel and Natasha's POVs, and then sometimes they'll break off to side characters' POVs to kind of tie together how all these people's lives are working together to influence each other. So there's one character called Irene, or named Irene, and she is depressed, I do believe, and she is going to commit suicide, and Natasha decides to thank her for just being there that day and making her run a bit late, which made her interact with Daniel. And I think the theme of saying, like, that one thank you and that one good word can save a life, and it can really make someone's day, which is something I really do believe is, like, when possible, just acknowledge the people that, like, they matter in some way, or, like, they just acknowledge people is kind of what I mean. Like, I am not a nice person, but I truly do believe in just, like, saying that, how are you, to a stranger, or just saying hi to somebody. Like, I do believe that that can change someone's day and change someone's life, to be honest, so I did like that part of it. But again, I just feel like I have no feelings. Like, why? I don't know what is up with reading right now, but reading is making me feel nothing, like, emotionally. Like, I can read through the pages and get the story and be like, oh, that's cute, oh, that's sad, but I feel nothing. So I am having a crisis. So yeah, but I finished this, so go me. I need to do a art project and get ready for a presentation tomorrow, and I haven't washed my hair in days, so I'm kind of falling apart. So I will talk to you later, and I don't know if I'm even going to use this clip because this is just like a shitty clip, but whatever. Hello. It's day 2 of the reading rush, and I'm not having as much of a crisis anymore, so we're okay now mentally. And so I've got a lot of things to say in this clip, so let's, like, try and do this quickly. One, I didn't give a good description of what I did not like about this book, and I don't know if I can. So I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, and that's a totally fine rating. Obviously, this book is important for the sake of being diverse, and also it touches on deportation, but, like, I couldn't get over, like, I get the whole point of this book is, like, convenience, or I guess, like, fate, which ends up having a lot of plot convenience. I couldn't get over it, even though that was the point of the story, and the romance was cute at times, but I'm one of those people who, like, am very skeptical of love, and falling in love in, like, 12 hours, to me, is not believable. I get that, like, it's a story, and, like, in any story, there has to be some level of unrealisticness, but, like, falling in love in 12 hours, really, when, like, you've got deportation on your mind as well? How did that happen, you know what I mean? But I did like the discussion of interracial relationships. Natasha's African American and Daniel is Korean American. And so I liked the discussion of interracial relationships and like stigma from families. I did enjoy that. There's a lot of things I enjoyed about this book, but nothing that like made it stand out as like, oh, that's amazing in my eyes. So it was good, but it wasn't great. I also don't understand, like, what is it about New York City that like inspires guys to stalk girls? And like Daniel at the beginning of this book is following Natasha around, and like Joe from You follows Beck around, and I'm just like, what's up with New York? Are all the guys in New York stalker crazy? Like, I don't know. Somebody inform me. And now we're going to talk about the fact that I think I'm going to have to switch up my TBR, or kind of abandon part of it. I have no interest in reading any of like the books that were supposed to be for like the book to make you smile prompt. And I need to start one of them today because they're like probably going to be one of the longer ones. And I just can't, like, I don't want to read any of them. Like, I tried to read Assassin's Blade, which I will probably get to this month because I still want to read it. But I'm not going to read it that quickly, I can already tell, because I have this thing with short story collections. Like Stars Above, which is the short story collection for the Lunar Chronicles. I can't get myself to read it because I just don't care about short story collections, because they're always following like random side tangent stories or random characters that I don't give a shit about. You get enough context. I had never read this, but I read all of the series up to Empire of Storms, and you don't really need to read this. Yes, the characters come back, and maybe it's good to know the full history, but everything that you need to know is mentioned in the main series, so you really don't need to read this. Like, you don't have to read like hundreds of pages of these stories just to know like every little detail. I'm like, I don't care. Also, a lot of these characters, like when they show up in the main series, I don't care about them there either, so I don't even want to have any more time with these characters. Okay, for example, this is not a spoiler, like it's mentioned in like within the first like 50 pages of Throne of Glass. So Selena Sardathian is the main character of this series, and she has an ex named Sam, who she's like deeply in love with, but he gets murdered, and that's kind of what leads her to being captured and put in prison, which is the beginning of Throne of Glass. And we have stories, and we see like them getting together in this book, and we also see Sam's death in this book. And I see everyone like hyping up Sam. They're like, oh my god, I loved Sam and Selena. But like, here's my thing. If I already know that this guy's gonna die, and I know that like this relationship doesn't last, there's no way for me to get connected to it. Like, I don't care. I know this guy's gone. I know he basically becomes irrelevant by the end of the series. So it's like, I can't care about your relationship. I have a hard time getting into it. So I tried to start reading this, and I just couldn't give a shit. So we're gonna see what happens. I just don't like short story collections. It's just not my thing. So I was talking to Hunter. He's the Bookish Hunter. I'll link him down below. We were DMing, and I had him choose between The Devouring Grey and Four Dead Queens as my next read, and he picked Four Dead Queens. He hasn't read it. He just thought it sounded more interesting. So it's all riding on him to see if I like this, so I'm going to be starting this today. This is a fantasy, and basically it follows this girl named Carolee, and she is a pickpocket, and one day she pickpockets like a snuff film off of this messenger guy, and it's like a snuff film of these 4 queens being brutally murdered. So she has to team up with the messenger dude, his name is Varen, to like figure out who the murderer is. It sounds interesting. I'm really actually very excited to read this, so I will be trying to do that for the reading rush. But yeah, TBRs aren't my thing. That's why I didn't make a TBR video, because I know in my heart of hearts it's just not gonna work out. I'm a mood reader. TBRs don't work for me. My last order of business here, I got a package in the mail today, and it was so sweet. This is from Amy from All of the Lovely Books. I'll also link her down below. So she sent me this lovely package. I've mentioned on my Twitter and in a video that I just broke up with my boyfriend. He cheated on me, yada yada. We're all good. It's all fine. And she sent me this package. You did not have to do this, but thank you so much. So she sent me some chocolate, and she sent me this activity book, the feminist activity book, and I am super excited to do this because there's just so many fun activities. It looks like a blast, honestly. Like, I'm ready for this. And there's a word search. Oh my god. I am a hoe for a good ass fucking word search. And I saw a crossword. Bitch, I'm like 50 years old. This is my entertainment. And then she also got me Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson off of my wish list. Actually, this month I read The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, which is another one of her books. That was one of her earlier books. I actually really liked it, so I'm really excited to get into this one. So basically, this takes place at this really fancy, it's a private school. I don't know if it's a boarding school. If it's a boarding school, then like extra points. So basically, the history of this school is that the founder's wife and daughter were murdered. All that was left as like clues to who the murderer was this riddle and the pseudonym Truly Devious. And so years later, our main character Stevie is going to go to this school, and she is a true crime aficionado, and I am hyped because I love true crime, so I'm really excited for this, and she is determined to solve this mystery. And I am so excited. Like, I've heard some good things. I've heard mixed things, but I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm super hyped. I love when characters are into true crime. That to me is just like super fun because I really like true crime, so I'm super excited for this. But yeah, thank you so much, Amy. I am so grateful. That's all I've got to update on currently. We're doing okay, I guess, on the reading rush, but like could be doing better. Haven't really read anything today, but I did do a presentation. So I have realized today that like I suck at presentations. No, I don't suck at presentations. I'm actually like good at presentations. That's not me being like a narcissist. I just like, I get good grades on my presentations, okay? It's just like, it's fact. But I, like, leading up to a presentation, my heart will start racing, and like I will literally be on the edge of a panic attack, and it's not fun. Because when I do presentations, I have to plan the whole thing out. Like, I have a script to read through. I do not leave it up to chance of rambling. When I start rambling, I just can't. Like, it's not good. So I have to, like, plan out my presentations. So I did a presentation today, and I got 100%. It went really well, so go me. I don't know. That's just the life update that you didn't need, but I'm going to tell you. Hello, we are in a bathroom, and it's the last day of the reading rush, and I'm failing. I'll take this out. So, I don't know if the audio is better or worse now. So, I'm failing the reading rush. I've read one book, and that's it. And I've kind of accepted that I'm failing the reading rush. I'm kind of in a slump, so I've kind of given up in a sense. But if we're talking like how you win the reading rush, so you have to read like 4 books for each prompt, to my knowledge, is how you like win the reading rush. And so that to me says that if you read 2 books, that's 50%, and that means you pass. So I'm just out here to pass the reading rush at this point, and I have a plan to do so. And so that ties back to why I read in the washroom. So I started that romance book on my Kindle the other day when I was in the bath, and I got to 69%. I didn't finish it. So for the prompt to read a book in the same room the whole time, well, I guess I have to read this book in the bathroom to finish it. So that's why I'm in the washroom. But I would like to say some things about this book before I finish it. I did not realize this was basically quarantine porn because I didn't notice until I started reading it. I went to check after when this was released, and it was released on the 8th of April, 2020. So this book is set during this pandemic. And so I didn't know about that. It doesn't bother me. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not recommending this book to you, but if you for some reason want to read this, it takes place during this quarantine. So just, I don't know, keep that in mind. But yeah, basically what this book is, if we're being honest, is like these 3 people are forced together into this house because of the pandemic and quarantine, and they just have a lot of threesomes. So I mean, like, that's valid. I mean, go off. So that's what this book is. I never read the description before reading it, so my bad, my B. But I don't hate it. I didn't go into this book with like expectations, except for like the writing is not the best. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit rough. There's a lot of grammatical errors and word errors, and a lot of words don't make sense where they're placed. So like writing wise, not great. Also, I hate this usually happens with female characters, so I hate main female characters who are like stuttering and shy. And I'm like, you're like fucking 30 years old. It's not cute to be acting like a 5-year-old who can't string together a sentence. Also, this main character has this habit of not having a filter when she speaks. Like, she'll say like, oh, you're hot, but then be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm like, okay, again, you're not 5. I don't know. She's so apologetic, and to me, I hate when it's always female characters that are like this, like that are over apologetic, and I'm just like, not all women are like that. They don't need to be like that. Why are these main characters so fucking pathetic, like a fucking doormat? Why is she a doormat? But yeah, don't love that at all. Also, there's like fetishistic language surrounding the men. Basically, our main female is like, oh, the idea of seeing them kissing is like turning me on. And it's been mentioned a few times how hot she thinks it is when guys make out, and I'm like, oh, you're bordering on some like fetishy shit right there. Like, you know, being like, oh my god, I just want to see these two dudes kiss. It's like when like straight men want their girlfriend to kiss girls because they think it's hot. Like, you know, same disgusting fetishy attitude we don't love, you know what I mean? So if you like really want some quarantine threesome porn, like this book's for you. I'm going to finish it now. I'm 69% through. So we're gonna read the next, math is hard, 31% here. I will also mention briefly, I started Four Dead Queens and I'm liking it, except for I'm kind of in a slump, so I do not want to read this right now. Or like, I don't not want to read this right now, but I can't read it quickly for the reading rush. I'm probably going to finish this month, hopefully, but it's not going to be today. You gotta settle for what you can do, and what I can do is a 50%. You can only be great at so many things. While I'm here though, I will mention my favorite ASMR room. So I either listen to like lo-fi or one single ASMR room when I'm reading. I need to have background noise, like background noise that I've picked so that it drowns out all the other background noise that's possible, if you know what I mean. Like, I'll have an ASMR room going so it distracts me from any talking that might be going on, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe it makes sense, but the only ASMR room I like is the Slytherin common room. It's my favorite. No, not the common room, sorry, the dormitory. This is the one I'd recommend. And yeah, I'm gonna get to reading. We've reached another porn scene, fellas, but I did forget to mention, oh my god, that's too much titty. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the fact this takes place during the pandemic. Let's just close the sex scene for 2 seconds. So this is written during this pandemic, so it's like this person should be able to write from experience, but then the way they wrote this is like one day it was an epidemic going through Europe, and then the next day it's a pandemic and they have to be on lockdown. I'm like, you lived through this, right? That's not how it worked, especially in the States. The States took quite a while to like, you know, get in the game and like lock shit down. So I'm just like, this is unrealistic. Like, couldn't you have just started this book where it was already a pandemic and the States was already kind of shutting down, instead of having this really weird and unrealistic like epidemic to pandemic time? Like, it's not like you slept one night and then suddenly you can't go outside. I also wanted to say that this is marketed as a male, female, bisexual romance, which like I guess could be technically true, but I don't think it's really great that this book is kind of sending the message that all bisexual people want open relationships and like threesomes all the time. Like, that's not how bisexuality works. Like, some people probably yes, but I don't think it's just because they're bisexual. It's just because that's the kind of person they are. Like, I don't know. I think this should be more just like male, female threesome romance, you know, if you want to be kind of correct here, but whatever. I'm 74% through already, so I'm gonna read this sex scene. It's probably gonna wrap up like right after that, and then I'll come back to you. I'm back. So I finished Just in Case by Roxanne Riley, and it was a wild ride. Definitely 2 stars. Definitely not the best, but the smut was good. The smut was fine. The writing was just like not great, so yeah, 2 stars. Not much else to say about it. They by the end of this book they are in a throuple, and I've not seen a lot of throuples. I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting that we have like throuple representation. That's kind of all I gotta say. So yeah, I finished that, and wow, that is officially the end of my reading rush. I've kind of given up on it, but I've technically passed. So I read The Sun is also a star for the Place You Want to Go prompt, and then this one for the Read a Book in the Same Room. So we got 2 out of 4 prompts. I'm satisfied. I'm gonna just try and complete April without getting into like a total slump, because I'm definitely on the edge of a slump right now when we don't want to be in one. But yeah, that's it for this vlog and the reading rush for me. So like, thank you so much for watching. I've been Bailey. Bye.